Hello, Supervisor Galvin.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, okay, thank you. Just making sure you are on. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Attendees are in listen-only mode.
We will now reconvene the special meeting open session. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Supervisor Stewart will not be joining this meeting. Supervisor Galvin joining us remotely.
Hello, here.
Vice Chair Lesko. Here. Supervisor Gallardo.
Here.
Chair Brophy McGee.
Here. I would also, at the start of this meeting, like to recognize our elected officials from Maricopa County who are joining us. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell and Maricopa County Sheriff Jerry Sheridan. Would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you very much. We will proceed to the first three items on the agenda: setting of hearings for petitions to form Tolson Farms 1, setting of hearings for petitions to form Tolson Farms 2, and accepting the resignation of Ireland Justice Precinct Justice of the Peace. Madam Vice Chair, do you have a motion, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that we approve items number 2 through 4.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay. Motion passes unanimously.
Madam Chair, real quickly, I just wanted, if it's okay, real
Yes,
quickly.
please.
I know we're wanting to move on here, but just Judge Joe Getzweiler, just a big thank you for his service there in Gila Bend. Mr. Getzweiler comes from a long list of folks in his family that continue to service and provide service there to the community out in Gila Bend. Great guy. I knew his mother. So just big shout out to Judge Getzweiler for his work. He's retiring. I did have lunch with him, maybe a month ago, and he let me know he was going to retire, and I was trying to convince him not to, but I guess everyone wants to move on and spend time with the grandkids, and it's exactly what he's going to do. So thank you, Judge Getzweiler, for the service to the people of Maricopa County, particularly the community of Gila Bend.
Thank you, Supervisor. Your comments are noted for the record. I hope you told him to go clone himself. Okay, thank you. All right, we are then on to the main item, which is adopting a resolution for call of an election jail excise tax. Madam Clerk, have we any speakers to comment on this action item?
Madam Chair, I do have one speaker form from Diane Barker. She wishes to speak in favor.
Thank you. Please come up, Ms. Barker.
Thank you, Diane Barker in
Thank you, Ms.
District
Barker.
5.
You have 2 minutes and appreciate your being here.
And I want to congratulate Kate Brophy McGee on her new position. That's quite an achievement, particularly being in a female, And one of your issues, I posted this in picture of you, is mental health. And so that's good. When I signed up, I just wanted to come and speak in favor of call to the audience, but as far as the jail tax, I'm not educated on it, but it seems like it's probably something that you need to do because we'll need to have the jails. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Barker. We will now hear from county staff in relation to this agenda item. Zach and Danny, if you'd please introduce yourself so we know who's talking.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Board. Yes, my name is Zach Shura, Assistant County Manager for Elections and External Affairs here at Maricopa County.
Hello, Madam Chair and Board. Danny DeHogue with Maricopa County Government Relations and formerly the Director of the Public Safety Funding Committee.
Thank you both for being here. Please proceed.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'll go through a brief presentation on the efforts that the county staff have undertaken to get to this point, and then Ms. DeHogue can take any questions, or we can take questions together if you have any. A little background: since 1998, Maricopa County has relied upon the jail excise tax to fund detention-related expenses, including jail operations, correctional health services, and adult and juvenile probation. This 1/5 cent of a sales tax will generate an estimated $288 million in FY26. That number in FY25 was around $277 million. However, this critical funding is set to expire in March of 2027. So in 2023, county staff got with county leadership and decided to mimic the efforts of previous boards, which was to form a public safety funding committee in partnership with the county attorney, the sheriff, and the court. And this citizen-led task force was tasked with evaluating funding options and advising the board on how to sustain these vital services. Just a quick note on the membership of this committee. Truly great leaders of our community, as you mentioned in your speech today, Madam Chair. John Lewis chaired this committee from Phoenix East Valley Partnership. Councilman Kevin Robinson from the city of Phoenix was on this. Assistant Chief Dan Butler from the city of Mesa, who I believe is now the chief of police at the city of Mesa. Chief Brian Tobin from the Daisy Mountain Fire District. From Salt River Project, Jason Barron. From Chicanos por la Causa, Marisa Calderon. From Echo Canyon Consulting, Matt Kenny, on behalf of the county attorney. Dr. Don Noggle, former CHS Mental Health Director, on behalf of the County Sheriff's Office, and Barbara Broderick, former Maricopa County Adult Probation, on behalf of the Superior Court. So an esteemed list undertook this effort of advising the board on how to sustain this funding. The committee then engaged with an outside consultant who reviewed all detention fund expenses in FY 2023 and categorized each expense. They found that 99% of the detention fund expenses are mandated through law, court order, or constitutional provisions. After careful deliberation over the course of nearly a year, 13 public meetings, tours, ride-alongs, and public outreach, the committee presented, and the board accepted, a recommendation to ask the voters to consider approving a tax at the same rate as the current tax expiring. They identified as the most equitable and sustainable solution for maintaining essential public safety services. Last year, the legislature overwhelmingly approved, and the governor signed SB 1144, which provides this board to call for this election today. The measure gives the board authority to put to a question on the ballot for an additional 20 years at the current rate of 1/5 of 1 cent. Madam Chair, so now today you have on the agenda a resolution and the materials required of SB 1144 for your consideration.
Thank you, sir. Ms. DeHoog, do you have anything to add?
No, I think that was a great summary, Madam Chair, and thank you for your support of this committee. I know that they all had great things to say about the county board and the county experience, so we really appreciate your leadership.
Thank you. Do board members have questions? Vice Chair Lesko.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Shura, can you briefly explain what this money is used for?
Yes, Madam Chair, Vice Chairwoman Lesko. It's fun to get to say that today after this morning. This is used for all operations and maintenance of our county jails. And so if you go through the attachment per SB 1144 for adult correctional services, correctional health services, juvenile corrections and probation, adult probation services, capital projects, facilities management and repair, and then an other that includes enterprise technology, our ICJIS, Integrated Criminal Justice Information System, which is how all of our criminal justice departments talk to each other, and emergency management.
Thank you, Mr. Shura. And Madam Chair, can you explain roughly what percentage of the that the sales tax gives to how much it actually costs to run everything? Is it 50%, or how much does the jail tax or public safety tax bring in?
So, Madam Chair, the projected amount in 2028, sorry, I've lost my notes now, the first year that we would collect on this tax before you is $313 million. And I'm sorry, could you repeat the second half of your question?
What percentage of the costs of operating the jails and those things that you listed is funded by this tax?
So, Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, the jails are operated by the detention fund, and the detention fund is roughly funded 60%, 50% by the jail excise tax. The other 50% is a maintenance of effort requirement that previous bills required of the county to transfer general fund to the detention fund in order to fill those mandates.
Thank you. Supervisor Gallardo?
No real questions. I'll have a comment when.
Please.
No questions as of right now.
Supervisor Galvin, any questions or comments at this time?
None at this time. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. And I will save my comments for explaining my vote. I must commend the hard work you have done to get us this far. And it's been a long road, a lot of ups and downs. The work that was done on behalf of this, particularly down at the legislature, was magnificent. And thank you again to the Speaker and the Senate President. And the hard work my esteemed colleagues, County Attorney Mitchell and Sheriff Sheridan put in down there to make sure this has gotten to this point. So with that, the board will now consider item 5. Madam Clerk, would you please read the resolution?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Resolution and call for election for a transaction privilege tax for jail facilities. A resolution of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors to place the following measure on the November 3rd, 2026 general election ballot. As authorized by the legislature of the state of Arizona, Arizona Revised Statute 42-610.02 to establish a jail facilities excise tax of 1/5 of 1 cent on transactions, the same rate as the jail facilities excise tax that has been in place since 1998 and is set to expire March 20 of 27. Whereas the jail facilities excise tax has been a critical revenue source since 1998 for the public safety functions, including staffing, maintenance, and construction of county detention facilities, adult probation, juvenile probation, correctional health, and more. Whereas public safety is the largest expenditure in the county's budget with 49.5% of the fiscal year 2026 budget supporting essential services such as law enforcement, jails, correctional health, probation, courts, and criminal prosecution and defense. Whereas voters overwhelmingly approved the initial jail facilities excise tax as a rate of 1/5 of 1 cent in 1998 and again in 2002. Whereas the current transaction privilege tax is set to expire in March of 2027. Whereas the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors formed the Citizens Public Safety Funding Committee, tasked with reviewing current uses of the detention fund and making recommendations for how to sustain public safety programs and services. Whereas the Public Safety Funding Committee held 13 public meetings and gained consultant expertise on the topic of public safety funding. Whereas the committee also hosted public outreach webinars to allow for input prior to finalizing their recommendations. Whereas the Board of Supervisors adopted the committee's recommendation that the county pursue legislation to allow a measure to be placed on the November 3rd, 2026 ballot for a transaction privilege tax set at the same rate as the expiring tax, set at the rate allowed under ARS 42-6109.02, Section A, or 1/5 of 1 cent for a term of 20 years. Whereas the legislature has authorized use of sales tax for jail programs and facilities statewide throughout dedicated sales taxes for jail districts in other counties. and by legislation authorizing the citizens of Maricopa County to vote on dedicated sales tax for this purpose. Whereas the legislature and governor in laws 2025, Chapter 155, added ARS 42-6109.02, which granted Maricopa County voters the authority to consider a measure for a jail facilities excise tax levy for facilities and programs to replace the current jail facilities excise tax levy that is expiring. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Maricopa County, State of Arizona as follows. Section 1, purpose. Monies derived from the tax levied pursuant to this resolution shall be used as set forth in this resolution as specified in laws 2025, Chapter 155, to finance construction or renovation of adult and juvenile jail facilities, maintain and operate adult and juvenile jail facilities, finance other programs to reduce the expense of adult and juvenile jail facilities. For the purpose of this resolution, jail facility means a jail or other place of detention of persons charged with or convicted of a crime, or of persons who are subject to the jurisdiction of the juvenile court, including related support facilities. The county shall maintain its support for maintenance and operation of adult and juvenile facilities as required by law. For the purpose of this subsection, maintenance and operation includes detention personnel compensation, administrative support costs, and costs of maintaining and repairing the facility and grounds. Section 2, tax for county public safety in jail facilities. A, under the authority of Arizona Revised Statutes 42-6109.02, the new levy of the county's jail facilities excise tax will be at the rate of 1/5 of 1 cent, the same rate as the current levy that is set to expire, applying to each person engaging or continuing in the county in a business taxed under ARS Title 42, Chapter 5, Article 1, and limited to 4% of the statutory rate of the state transaction privilege tax in that section, which equates to 1/5 of 1 cent. B, the taxes under this section shall be levied beginning in the month following the expiration of the tax under ARS 42-6109.01 and may continue for not more than 20 years after the date the tax collection begins. The Board of Supervisors may, by resolution, decrease the rate of tax at any time during the term of the tax. Section 3, election. A, the Board of Supervisors calls for the placement of the measure described in this resolution on the ballot for the November 3rd, 2026 general election for consideration by the voters. B, the county elections director shall prepare the final ballot text in accordance with ARS 16-502.m and publicity pamphlets for the following measure. Official title, county jails, transaction privilege tax on 1/5 of 1 cent, the same rate as the existing jail facilities excise tax expiring in March of 2027. Descriptive title. Pursuant to authority granted by the state of Arizona, the county seeks voters' approval of a transaction privilege tax set at the rate allowed under ARS 42-6109.02, Section A, 1/5 of 1 cent to be used for county jail facilities and programs. A yes vote shall have the effect of approving a sales tax of 1/5 of 1 cent for county jail facilities and programs, the same rate as the current tax that is expiring. A no vote shall have the effect of rejecting a sales tax of 1/5 of 1 cent for jail facilities and programs. Section 4, taxes collected and accounting of revenues expended. Maricopa County has prepared a statement of the taxes that have been collected pursuant to the existing jail facilities excise tax, ARS 42-6109.01, and an accounting of the budgeting and expenditures of those revenues. This statement is attached and incorporated by reference in this resolution entitled Summary of Taxes Collected and Expended. Section 5, projection of taxes anticipated to be collected annually. Maricopa County has prepared a projection of the amount of taxes anticipated to be collected annually if the tax levy under ARS 42-6109.02 is approved by the voters. The projection and contemplated uses and estimates of expenditures are summarized in the Summary of Anticipated Taxes and Use of Taxes, which is attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And thank you, Madam Clerk, for reading this language. Members of the board, you have heard the text of the resolution that we are calling for a vote on today. Is there a motion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of agenda item number 5 to adopt a resolution for call of an election jail excise facility tax.
Thank you, Madam
Madam
Vice Chair.
Chair.
Yes.
I'd like to
Supervisor
second that,
Galvin.
but also ask for a roll call vote as well, please.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded, and a roll call vote has been requested.
Madam Chair, I'd like to explain.
What
Would you like me to explain the vote as I vote?
I was going to ask that members explain their vote as part of casting it. Okay, good. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Supervisor Stewart is absent. Supervisor Galvin?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Even though this is the first day of the year and the first day of your chairmanship, Madam Chair, I think this will probably be one of the most important votes that we take this year, if not the most important vote. It is good that Sheriff Sheridan and County Attorney Mitchell have joined us. This is a crucial issue, not just for the board, but for our colleagues in law enforcement from the Sheriff's Office or from the County Attorney's Office. I am going to be voting yes. I am proud to cast this vote, and I want the county to know that I'm casting this vote as a support for all the efforts we do at Maricopa County and for law enforcement and public safety in general. Thank you.
Thank you.
Supervisor Gallardo?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If it's okay, I'd like to explain my vote as well.
Please do.
Thank you. First, love to put a shout out to my appointment from District 5 to the Public Safety Committee. Marissa Calderon, thank you so much for your service to this committee and ensuring that the proposal that we have in front of us deals with a variety of issues. One of the things that Ms. Calderon from Chicanos por la Casa is responsible for, her position is family empowerment. How do you strengthen families? How do you help folks that are facing tremendous challenges economically, socially? How do you help them? Those that are coming out of our criminal justice system, how do you address some of the needs that they have as they start to adjust into public or into society? How do you address the challenges they face as they come out of the criminal justice system? That has been her task. That has been her job. How do you reduce recidivism? That's another thing. How do you reduce that? That's been her task in front of us. So when this opportunity came about, this was an easy choice for me. Let's go to Marissa. She knows this stuff. She does it every day, and she was a great selection to the actual committee to address this particular issue. So thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to her service on the Public Safety Committee. Madam Chair, I do want to say this. So my entire public life, even as a member of the legislature, I always looked at recidivism. How do you address the issue of recidivism? How do you address the challenges that people are facing every day? Why is it that folks are getting into our criminal justice system? How do we reduce that? How do we keep folks from going into that direction? And there's a whole variety of issues. There's so much stuff you can talk about and try to face. I believe 30 years ago, and my previous seatmate that sat in my chair, Supervisor Mary Rose Wilcox, also believes that how do you address some of the challenges people face every day? Yes, we want to be able to provide the funding necessary for our sheriff's office, our county attorneys, and making sure that public safety is #1 priority. I think that's something we'll all agree on. but also taking a step back and say, how do we address the challenges that folks do face as they perhaps get into the criminal justice system? How do we get them as they come out? How do we address their issues from adult probation? I even see juvenile probation as well. How do we address those? How do we address correctional health? How do we address those that are going into our system that may be having a dependent on drugs or alcohol? How do you address those? How do you help folks? And I think that's what is so critical, and that's what is in front of us right now. That's what, over the last 30 years, this funding mechanism has been used for. So I think it's really critical, and I hope voters really take a chance to look and really read up on it. I believe over the last 30 years, this revenue fund has done its purpose. And I am honored to be able to take this vote and say, let's put it back on the ballot and let voters have another opportunity to weigh in. So, Madam Chair, for all the great work this funding mechanism has done for the last 30 years, and for many other reasons, I am honored to vote yes in placing this on the ballot in November.
Thank you. Supervisor Gallardo votes aye.
Vice Chair Lesko.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to explain my vote.
Please.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank Sheriff Jerry Sheraton for being here, and for our County Attorney Rachel Mitchell, who is here. And thank you both for coming here for this very important vote. Government's #1 duty, whether it be at the local level, county level, state level, or federal level, is to protect its citizens. And that is why this year last year, we gave the sheriff's officers a raise, because public safety is so important. And that's why I'm going to support this jail tax, public safety tax. And I want to read what our great sheriff tweeted out, and to show that I support our sheriff and our sheriff's office and our jail detention officers and our probation officers. This is from Jerry Sheraton's personal X account. It says, today the Board of Supervisors will officially place the Jail Enhancement Initiative on the general election ballot. This revenue extension, in effect since 1999, means hundreds of millions of dollars to support county law enforcement in general, but our Maricopa County jail systems and detention deputies in particular. Passage of this initiative is critical for the Sheriff's Office to efficiently operate our county jail system, which is the 4th largest in the country. And I want to thank Jerry Sheraton for posting that on X. For those of you that don't know, all individuals arrested in Maricopa County, from those accused of murder to lesser crimes, are processed through the county jail system. Maintaining adequate funding for county jails is essential to protecting public safety and our residents. The public safety sales tax was originally approved by voters in 1998 and has since been used since 1999 to help fund the county jail detention officers and all the costs that go along with running the county jails that hold criminals, many of which are dangerous and violent. I read the Public Safety Funding Committee report, and in that there was a section from Jim Round's consulting group. And I thought there was a few items that were particularly stood out to me. One of them that Round's consulting group said was that the maximum property tax rate is not enough to fund current operations. And so when we look at, should we extend the sales tax or do we have other options, it sounds like we really don't have a lot of good options. It said the use of a property tax increase to cover the $275 million plus in lost annual revenue if we didn't put this on the ballot would require a large tax increase that would be over the maximum allowable levy. Not extending the current jail tax would result in the largest fiscal disruption the county has realized since the 2008 Great Recession. I thought those 3 points really stood out to me from the Rounds Consulting Group part of the section that was in the Public Safety Funding Committee report. And I want to emphasize again, even though it's been said before, that this is not a tax increase. It is a continuation of a 1/5 of 1 cent sales tax. It is vital to keep dangerous criminals in jail. I would like to thank the Public Safety Funding Committee, and I agree with their recommendations to place on the ballot the extension of the current 1/5 cent public safety sales tax. And I also agree with their recommendation that we should form an oversight committee to oversee the proper expenditure of these funds. With that, Madam Chair, I vote aye.
Thank you, Supervisor Lesko.
Chair Brophy McGee.
It has been so well said by my colleagues, but one thing for me bears repeating, that an elected official's primary duty and commitment to their voters is public safety. Whether you're on a school board and you're talking about the placement of the school and the construction and design of the school, whether you're in the legislature with so many things happening throughout your district or here at the county, neighborhoods, businesses, people have to feel safe. And if they don't feel safe, those communities, those businesses, those neighborhoods will not thrive. Bottom line, this is a public safety issue. It is critical. And it's interesting, Supervisor Gallardo, very quickly, when I first got here, one of the first things I did was visit the ITR. Thank you, Sheriff Sheridan, for giving me the tour, and also find out more about correctional health. Because you're absolutely right. If someone does the work and does the time, they need to have a path forward so they don't come back. And I did a lot of work on that recidivism piece in the state legislature, but you're absolutely right. And I was so pleased to see the reforms and the processes that are being put in place in a very difficult area, correctional health. So yes, this tax is extension or continuation is absolutely critical. While I'm sorry that our entire board could not be here today, I am so proud to add my affirmative, strong aye vote to the total. Thank you. Do you have a, yes,
I have
please.
all votes.
So with that, the adoption of the resolution passes with a 4-0, 1 absent vote. Let's get to work, folks. We got this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And Madam Chair, would you like me to move to adjourn the meeting?
I don't think we do that.
Okay.
We'll talk
All
about
right,
that, because I
thank you.
think we should. So this meeting is adjourned.